Hey guys, I hope this video isn't too fragmented, but we're going to be taking a look at the electronics in my guitar number 1 today. It's going to be a little different than most guitars. I think I've got all the pieces and parts already filmed, but essentially we're going to be doing a single loop pickup, which is really unique and interesting. Alumitone does it and some other people do it. So we're going to be doing a few little experiments here, and hopefully this all makes sense at the end of the day. Check it out. This will be my coil rather than a copper thing like this, so we'll just cut a piece of aluminum, and eventually I'll wind up making the final piece out of this stuff. So I'll cut my holes in there and the magnets will go in here, and then there'll be a transformer down there that'll amplify the signal. So the thought is that I'll be able to lay this pickup literally flat on my guitar and just screw it in. The current transformer will be outside of where the neck is, so I won't have to route a pickup pocket in the neck. Theory here being, and I'm sorry I'm kind of getting windy on this, but the theory being I spent all this time and effort keeping this neck through as one piece, and usually people come in, they route these enormous pickup pockets in here, and especially for humbuckers, and they cut through about half of the neck, and so it kind of makes me think, if you do that, then your fibers stop at the end of the fretboard, and all the guys who do the glue-in necks are right. There's no advantage to a neck through. But if you do like I'm trying to do, where you completely preserve the length of this, and so the fibers are continuous all the way through, then you get a lot more benefit. So I'll actually have a little pocket over here for the transformer, but the pickup will just lay flat on top of the guitar. I think this is going to be what makes this guitar radically different than the other guitars that have been built to date. That's what they call a permanent magnet. Whoa! In a coil of wire will be, and you can watch my little guy down here, if there's no movement happening, it will stabilize and not create any current. But if you introduce a ferrous material into the magnetic field, it will start to cause current to move, and sometimes in greater numbers than others. So you can see that go up to like 0.9, depending on sort of how fast and how slow you bring it in and out of the field and how close. This is the principle behind electric guitar pickups, is you have a big coil of wire that's surrounding a bunch of magnets. What I'm going to try and do is create a single coil magnet, or a single coil pickup. So I guess you'd call that a sensing circuit or something like that. So a single coil, and then I'm going to make a transformer that takes that one coil and magnifies it like 4,000 or 5,000 times. We'll forget for right now that it's DC out, AC in. So there's a capacitor here on this plate that I just broke off, and that takes care of all that crap. So this first coil is the 110 volt side, and then we're stepping it down to 9 volts. So this coil, I don't know if you guys can see that, this coil is bigger than this one. It's both wider and thicker this way. So what'll happen, this is the primary side. So primarily we'll have more windings, and off the back end we'll have fewer. So it'll be like a 13-to-1 winding. So I'm going to get an X-Acto knife and we're going to cut this tape off of here. Next move will be to strip a bunch of coils off of this side, so that instead of being like a 13-to-1, let's say we strip half of these, then it's going to be a 26-to-1. If we strip, most all of them, it's going to be significantly higher. So what I think I may do is just completely take that coil out of the mix and leave us with the single coil, or I think there's 3 coils here. So then we'll see what happens at that point. I've got over here, right there, my little Fender Princeton amplifier, and we're going direct out right now from my Stratocaster. So this is kind of like, you know, we're plugged in here. These pickups are here, and we're going to use the Stratocaster here to test out our home built circuit, which I'm going to pick up off the ground here. So essentially I've just got a little input right there. I hope this is in focus. The transformer that we broke open, I just kind of clipped on, you know, so the wires just go from point A to point B. And then I've got my transformer there and my coil of wire, and here in my hand I've got the magnet. So what we're going to do is pop this little guy out, and this little circuit as is right now would work awesome on like a cigar box guitar, those kinds of things, kind of the home brew, home built stuff. So I'm just going to set that piece in my lap, and this doesn't make any noise yet. Here we go, just as a coil of wire, but we'll put our magnet in here, and I'm going to have to just hold on to it by hand. Again, it's just copper wire, number 12 copper wire, and it's not real tight on there. I wish I had some pliers. I'm going to put the magnet in the coil like that, and you could already hear it, you know, so hang on. And obviously the closer you get it, the louder it is. There it is on the rhythm, you know, kind of that area. Further back you get, the more tinny it gets. And I've probably got maybe half, probably more like a quarter of the windings that I need. And then these magnets are actually interfering just a little bit. You can hear as you get over them that it changes. And actually I can feel the magnet pushing and pulling. So I guess what this is just a proof of concept that this little transformer idea in a single loop of wire, so basically a low impedance, very, very low impedance circuit with a coil of wire here, and then a transformer, a boost transformer, I think is what you call it, or a up, what the hell do you call it? Crap, forgetting my words now. But basically it increases the voltage, right, by the windings, that it actually does work to pick up the volume here, or the sound here. So that's pretty sweet. Oh yeah, I wanted to do some distortion. Sure. We'll kick on channel 2. Maybe. The one coil pickup, I guess is what I'm going to call it. The Alumitone style, whatever you want. Obviously there's some shielding that needs to happen, some better windings, some more customized kind of things. I think that number 12 wire is probably a little thin for what I'm trying to do, and like I said, I think there's maybe a couple thousand windings on that transformer, maybe not even that many, and I'm thinking somewhere on the range of like 5,000 to 8,000 windings is what I want. So the next iteration of this video series here will be me making that custom secondary, I guess, and all the pieces that go with it. And again, my hope is that we can just lay this sucker flat against the guitar without routing out the neck. That's the whole point, is to not lose that sustain. Don't let your meatloaf.